did in January of 1900, they lowered that dam, sending Chicago River water and all of our sewage down to St. Louis instead. Sorry, St. Louis, but we no longer do that to them, don't you fret. We treat that sewage at the largest capacity water purification plant in the world over at Navy Pier, run by the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. Now this is our curtain unveiling this beautiful city. Woo! This view never gets old. On our left-hand side, we're starting off in 2020. The St. Regis is the tallest building in the world, designed by a woman-led architecture firm. We're starting off strong. Jeannie Gang, on our left-hand side, this curvy blue building. Jeannie Gang of Studio Gang designed this. At 1,191 feet tall, that's the third tallest building in Chicago. Now, Jeannie Gang is known for being inspired by nature. So the curves that you see are referencing the frustum, a shape that occurs naturally in crystal, fluorite, and sapphire. But those curves are actually an illusion. Look closely where each floor meets the one above or below it. You'll notice each floor is set out about 6 to 8 inches from the one above or below it, which creates this gradual illusion of a curve when there are no literal curves whatsoever. Pretty cool, right? On top of that, you're going to see different shades of blue reflected glass, reflecting the blue of the sky above, and the beautiful varying blues of Lake Michigan. She is especially blue today, at least she was on my bike ride down here. Now, this is an element of what we call contextualism. When architects throughout history have honored the natural surroundings or buildings nearby, contextualism means fitting in within the context of your surroundings. Now, the 82nd and 83rd floor were left empty. With no windows, they only contain the elevator shaft. You see, the warm winds coming from the southwest meet the cool air of Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan is just above 61 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Very, very chilly. So, when warm air meets cold air, it's unpredictable and kind of dangerous. Those blow-through floors allow those winds to pass through safely. On our right-hand side, this is the Centennial Fountain, celebrating the 100-year anniversary of the formation of the Sanitary District in 1889. This fountain opened in 1989. It actually shoots an arc of water across the river every hour on the hour. And if you hang out in this area, keep an eye out for unsuspecting tourists driving wreck boats and kayaks, passing underneath. They get soaking wet, especially on a hot day when it actually feels kind of nice for them. It can be really fun, pretty funny to me. Now continuing on our left-hand side, just past this triangular building is Aqua Tower. The 12th tallest building in Chicago, has 82 floors, and in 2009, it was the tallest building in the world designed by a woman-led architecture firm. Jeannie Gang actually went on to beat her own record with the St. Regis in 2020. Now here, Jeannie Gang is referencing limestone formations. Each floor, all 82 of them, has a unique shape, referencing limestone formations which actually can be found near Lake Michigan in northern Michigan. So this is another connection to nature nearby. I love Jeannie Gang's work. Aqua Tower is definitely up there in my top 3 favorite skyscrapers, and the St. Regis is as well. She continues to do incredible work, and what's important about this, only 27% of architects are women. That number has actually increased 3% in the last 4 years. So if you got a young mind, aspiring minds on this boat, I encourage you to pursue your passions. In front of us, back in the 1900s, architects seemed to be very passionate about old, classic European styles. We call this Beaux-Arts style, which translates to fine arts in French. In front of us, we have the Wrigley Building, with a clock tower on top that's actually modeled after the Giralda Tower, which sits atop the Sevilla Cathedral in Spain. Now, the Wrigley Building is super beautiful, super intricate, and it's covered in these very delicate tiles, light terracotta tiles. There are 6 different shades, and the lightest terracotta tiles were actually saved for the clock tower, a technique used to draw your eye upwards towards the clock tower itself. Now those tiles are so delicate that the Wrigley Building is actually hand polished several times per year, very, very carefully. Now, the Wrigley Building was completed in May of 1924, making it officially 101 years old today. Pretty cool, right? Now, the Wrigley Building, this was William Wrigley Jr.'s headquarters. William Wrigley Jr., the founder of Wrigley Chewing Gum, famous for flavors like Juicy Fruit and Double Mint, which you might even have in your pocket or in your purse right now. And a full circle moment for William Wrigley Jr. There is actually a Walgreens at the base of the Wrigley Building that sells his gum today. So it just shows how successful he was. We're about to pass under the Michigan Avenue DuSable Bridge, named after the V. DuSable, the first non-native permanent resident. This bridge opened in 1920, designed by Edward Bennett. In front of us, you'll see the second tallest building in Chicago. Trump International Hotel and Tower stands at 1,388 feet, designed by Adrian Smith. Adrian Smith noticed there were lots of historically significant buildings in the area, such as the Wrigley Building. And as we pass by, you'll notice the setback, where the building actually gets shorter or skinnier as it gets taller, matches the height of the Wrigley Building minus the clock tower. This is more contextualism on this contemporary skyscraper. Now, we're going to see more contextualism later. You'll start to get an eye for it if you notice something that's trying to fit in with its natural surroundings. That tends to be contextualism. On our left-hand side, we've got the Jewelers Building from 1926. Rumor had it that Al Capone actually ran a speakeasy underneath that dome there. He ran that from prison. Now, the Jewelers Building with a dome on top. Notice these skinny little towers on that set back there. Those are called tempietos. They used to hold the Jewelers Building's fire suppression system. Very important to have good fire suppression systems in place in Chicago. If you know, you know. If you don't, we'll talk about that later. This is another Beaux-Arts building. Contrast that with AMA Plaza on our right-hand side. A brief glimpse of this bare building with exposed structural steel. Architect Ludwig Mies van der Rohe. He actually led the Bauhaus in Germany, and then he moved to Chicago. His style that he created and popularized is called black box modernism. Now, he also is famous for teaching lots of students of architecture. One of those students was Bertrand Goldberg, who designed Marina City. Now, these two circular towers might be the most famous within Marina City. There are 5 buildings within Marina City. Officially completed in the late 1960s, Marina City actually gives us a glimpse into Bertrand Goldberg's mind. 2 things that were very important to him. Nature, first. He argued that right angles, the rigid right angles of modernism, which was popular in the 50s and 60s, modernism was too rigid to reflect nature because right angles rarely appear in nature. Instead,